So the one thing that is important about being inspired by this player is realizing that the three finger technique really comes into play quite a bit, and we're going to have to address maybe a minor scale to pull this off. And at times we're going to also use our pinky, and that's something that I want to make sure and talk about, because a lot of times people think with the style of this guitar player, you know, he doesn't necessarily use his pinky, but that is not the case. So we're going to need a minor scale to talk about, and it's going to look just like this. We're going to use our traditional caged form of our E natural minor scale. Okay, so from that scale, what we're going to use and we're going to focus on is this F sharp. So the first thing that I want to work on is this nice rolling effect that happens when we go like this. Now we're going to use this lick as a gateway or a transition into some really neat things that are very stylistically cool to this guy. So what the first thing we want to do is practice that. So let's just go for that. Really even with all those notes. Now one thing that we could do that's cool is this. So what I get there very slowly, one note and a hammer-on pull-off. Very subtle, but so nice to play. And when I've got that tone knob, remember, rolled off just a little bit, it creates a lot of smooth sound to that run, and you hear everything just cascade into each other. And all of these things could be mixed together in any kind of a combination to really achieve that sound, and that's very, very important to think about. Let's take a look at that lick that I just played a moment ago, because it expands on a lick that we've already covered. So earlier on we covered this. Well, let's take that down a little bit and maybe incorporate it so we could use more of our scale usage. So we're going to go like this. And we're going to use that to get into the flat 5 of the blues scale. So, you know what? I should probably play that blues scale for some of you that don't know that scale. It goes just like this. Because with the use of that scale, I'm going to grab this note over here on 15, and I'm going to slide down to 14 and pull off to 12. So that gives me... I'm going to hit this note so it can transition, and that's going to lead me to resolve right there. So if I mix that with licks previous, very, very cool. And any of these could be mixed in any order. Now you see I got a little bit more of that rolling effect on the second string as well. So you see the theme here, right? When we're doing 3-finger playing, we can kind of get this nice... And we could do that in groups of strings here. So with this player, we've got a great traditional rock sound, and we've got a melodic approach. I think that's really, really important when we talk about this, is how we're going to approach into these licks from a very melodic standpoint. So I think what would be best suited right now is I'm going to show you some of these licks over our jam track. And then in the next section, we're going to talk about how we can incorporate a little bit of a wah-wah with some of these licks, and we could see how that affects our tone and maybe some of the decision making we make behind some of the licks.